Hello and welcome back everyone to SpeedGaming Live 2019 as we get ready to watch some more Super Mario Maker 2. We are in, yeah, get excited. We are watching a semifinals match as Andy takes on 2woGood. I am joined here, my name is Timp, and I'm joined here by Ramashku.
Hi everyone, it's gonna be the second semifinal between Andy and 2woGood, and only one of them will make it to the finals, and it's gonna be very exciting for both of them and for the viewers as well.
Yeah, definitely for the viewers and for us and for everyone. So looking forward to getting this kicked off. So if you're just joining us, a quick explanation while we're waiting to get started with the first round. The first phase is going to be just a straight race. 3 levels back to back to back. Who can beat all 3 of them the fastest? Once the first player crosses the finish line of the third stage, the second player will be able to continue to play, and it will be determined whether or not the winner gets 1 or 2 points by how quickly the second player is able to finish after the first player did. Specifically, 10% of the time is added. So if they can beat the last level within 10% of the leader's score, then the leader gets 1 point. But if it's beyond that, then leader will get 2. The second phase is the optimization phase. So the runners will have 30 minutes to go about playing in any order for any amount of time that they want, those initial 3 levels, and just trying to grind that time down as quick as possible to get the lowest time that they can. After 30 minutes, we'll take a look at the times, and there'll be a similar sort of comparison to see who has the faster time and is it by 10% faster or not, to see if it's going to be 1 or 2 points. And then the last one is pretty fun. It's a 20-minute long endless. So the runners will have as long as they can to beat as many stages as or they'll have 20 minutes to beat as many stages as they can, and then for each stage that they beat, they will get a point. So without any further ado, I think we're maybe just about ready. So let's go ahead and kick it over to our runners and get this started.
It worth mentioning though that the first 3 levels are handpicked from the levels that were submitted by viewers, and those levels are really good.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they were.
So shoutouts to the makers who submitted those levels. You can see the makers of those levels down on the screen and level codes if you want to try them yourself. Those levels are really good.
Yeah. Check them out. You'll want to check them out after you see them. They've all been very, very good. And of course, all runners going in blind for all of these. Okay, here we go.
Official countdown.
And we're off. The One Floor Martyrdom Mansion. Interesting name by Bob McName. Ooh, spooky.
If I'm not mistaken, the world record was like pretty long for this level, so it's gonna be amazing.
Looks like it. Looks like maybe a red coin level where you can go in and essentially do kind of miniature challenges to go back and trip the checkpoint and kind of save your progress, which will be interesting in the optimization phase to see if that's something they're gonna even worry about.
This one is puzzle, so you have to figure out what and when to do. We already see that 2woGood struggled with the first room.
Yeah, and Andy working on a room with a couple of Yoshis, not quite able to figure it out just yet. I couldn't really figure out what was going on in there either, to be honest, but I'm sure we'll come back to that. Okay, so now we've got sort of a damage boost section here. Grab the mushroom, walk into the saw, grab a POW, and kill the muncher. And Andy's through. That's 1 red coin. Yeah, you see when he comes out, saves his progress on that checkpoint, and then immediately trips this one, which will save the amount of red coins that he has when if he were to die or start again on the level.
2woGood keeps working on the first room. He got the first coin. It was killing all 4 munchers with POWs.
Yeah, that was the one that Andy has too. So we've seen one of the rooms completed.
Now looks like they're going in different directions.
Okay, so we've got some Dry Bones shell bouncing. Andy saving that one by dropping the shell. ended up working out for him. Unfortunately, not able to do it over on the other side. Also worth mentioning, obviously this is a Super Mario World theme level, and it is what we call night theme. And when you have a night theme on the haunted house, that gives you this darkness that you're seeing, and certain items will illuminate the screen, like these POWs, and see the mushroom gives off kind of a faint sort of light. But other than that, pitch blackness, which is probably annoying our runners a little bit. I know it would annoy me. And there's just a death fall for Andy. That's a perfect example of something you just can't anticipate when the screen is all black.
2woGood is trying to find his way in the second room with Yoshi, and it's pretty difficult to find his way because he has he has a power up and he cannot fit in the top corridor, and he decides to move on to the next room. Or is it? Oh, he picks up a power up here.
So a lot of the levels that I played were more kind of, speeding through, and it's really interesting to see a puzzle level sort of introduced into this format. For the race, it's kind of being not just about who can execute fastest, but who can, figure out these puzzles faster. And then, of course, the optimization, once we know the solutions, that should be interesting.
He finally manages to go through the sauce with the Yoshi,
Okay,
and
so
he gets the second coin.
yeah, that's another coin.
And he's working on his third coin. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how they optimize this level.
Yeah. Seems to be sort of a theme of damage boosting, which would go along with the title of Martyrdom Mansion. It's kind of all coming together. It's a cool level concept.
I like that despite this level is dark, it's well highlighted by the items, because I have played a lot of dark levels that are just terrible because they're really dark and you have to do a lot of blind jumps. This level is much better than that because it has a lot of POWs that highlight the way.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you can see enough of the screen to kind of have an idea of what's going on. And we also, are fortunate that we know that all of our level creators are good and make good levels, and they're not going to just put a troll right in the middle of a dark room. We were going to be able to, maybe not physically, but more or less see everything coming, if that makes sense.
We're going to see a lot more troll and not that good of a levels during the expert run.
Exactly, yeah. There will be a time for that. Just stick around. Right. Meanwhile, Andy does pick up his key, and it looks like he is, going to finish the first level. So Andy takes the first one. Now remember, it's about who completes all 3 levels. So 2woGood is definitely not out of this, has not lost a point. They'll just need to catch up and try to catch up with Andy and pass him if they want to get that point.
He has his last room left, and he will probably be able to do that.
Yeah,
just a matter of time.
Certainly no trouble. I can definitely vouch for 2woGood. He's a very, very good Mario Maker player. Andy is on to a new Super Mario Bros. Desert stage. Looks to be sort of speedrun-ish, kind of a more traditional go fast sort of level.
I like how Super Mario Maker 2 changed the traditional new soup speedruns, because Super Mario Maker 1 speedruns for new soup most of them were bad.
Yeah.
They were repetitive, and the theme in all of them were almost the same because there were not that much elements to add to the speedrun. But Mario Maker 2 adds a lot, and the levels here are much better.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so as we can see, Andy on this second stage having to hit P switches to create paths. And pick up a checkpoint. We've got some Flappy Birds sort of setups here. Make it through the columns. Some very helpful arrows as well. Ooh.
You never expect parachute on a thwomp.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, as you can see, drastically arrests the momentum of that sideways thwomp. So where Andy thought he was going to be able to jump onto it, it was not there because it had been parachuted. But next time I'll know.
2woGood manages to finish his last room in this level, so it's not long till then.
Yeah, I'm really interested to check out the optimization stage of that first level. I think that's going to be really interesting. Okay, there's that parachute. Andy's ready for it this time. Ooh, looks like a P-switch jumped there. That's a real heads-up play. When you don't know it's coming, it's really hard to react to something like that.
I'm sorry, it wasn't the last room. So
no, yeah, it looks like he's still working.
He's still working on the last coin.
Ooh.
And now 2woGood gets his last coin.
All right, so 2woGood gonna be moving on to stage 2.
I don't think there is a way to die after he gets the key.
No, it didn't seem like there was anything to get damaged on. So safely just run over and break the tape.
What's bad with the parachuted thwomps that there is no good indication to show that thwomp has parachute, and for a lot of runs you expect thwomp to be like fast.
Oh yeah.
And it gets slow, and there is no coin indication because coins are not good for the parachute indication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you've noticed there are a few places Andy will, that Z right there. Level creators have kind of, adopted this shorthand to let players know when you're quickly going through a level. If you see that Z, that's going to be a spin, and they're going to want you to bounce off something like a thwomp or a
so probably did you see the kind of arc that goes behind the thwomp though? Mm-hmm. So that's probably the indication of parachute, but it's not that common for the levels to indicate parachutes this way with tracks.
Yeah, that is very clever though. I wonder if that could catch on. Oh, not quite high enough on that jump. He does save his life, but he's not going to be able to take his ride back, so he's got to take the death.
So now they're both working on the same level, and this level is tricky because you have to do precise jumps.
Mm-hmm. Then of course you've always got that P-switch timer to think about. Seems like if you move your way through without getting stopped up too much, it shouldn't be a problem, but if you have to maybe say rock back and forth on a jump, then you're probably going to find that the floor is going to drop out. Ooh,
2woGood accidentally exits the level.
Andy making some progress here, looking good. Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. It's another one of those things when you're playing blind, it's hard to react that fast, but getting a lot of really valuable knowledge about what's coming up next.
The level has good indication, but when you're trying to run it blindly, it's hard to read all the indication because there's just too much to do in the level.
Yeah, definitely not a fault of the creator at all. It's just kind of how this thing goes, And sometimes you get lucky and you do react in time, and then you feel like you're really cool. By the way, we have dual Toads here as well. So you can choose your avatar, Mario, Luigi, Toad, or Toadette, and with 2 Toads. Interesting.
Now Andy knows what to do here, and he's out of
GG,
this
says the clouds. Little fake out there at the end, and he's through. Meanwhile, 2woGood getting the checkpoint and just now coming up to where Andy has just left. So this is sort of interesting and worth mentioning here. So the runners are sitting next to each other, despite the way that the camera is set up on your stream. They are shoulder to shoulder, and that means that they can see one another's screens. So this is not exactly as blind for 2woGood as it was for Andy. Well, that was kind of unfortunate that P-switch fell on his head and bounced off there. But 2woGood has, if he's been glancing over Andy's screen at all, he's seen some of these tricks. So, and you can see he got significantly further on his first attempt than Andy was able to because he did have that knowledge from being able to watch Andy's screen.
In my experience, sometimes it's really hard to see what other players doing because you're too concentrated on what you are doing. So it doesn't necessarily helps.
I think it just depends on the section. For me, when I was up there, I found it to be kind of distracting. I wanted to watch the other person play, just because I love to watch this game. But something like a surprise thwomp, if you happen to be in between deaths and you look over and you see that surprise thwomp, that's definitely something that could be helpful.
And just got an interesting level where he should go back and forth in two sections and pick up different power-ups and different things, which seems cool.
What are we... Oh, there it is. It's pretty precise, isn't it? To try to get that bomb lit.
So that's interesting that you can hit the bomb with fire flower when it's under the block. So the fire goes in between, like in the small gap between the blocks.
Yeah, it's so precise too. It seems because he was close to it, and it didn't work. He backed up a little bit, it didn't work, and then he kind of split the difference, and he was able to get it.
So the second section is similar to what was the first section. You kind of have to go back and forth and pick up the power-ups. So the first power-up here is Yoshi. And 2woGood keeps working on this section.
Yeah, this second stage that 2woGood's working on kind of strikes me as when we get to the optimization stages. Once you get one good clean run in, that's probably what your submission is going to be.
2woGood, by the way, has a good experience in Mario speedrunning because he's doing Super Mario Bros. 3 randomizer. So we'll see how it goes with the optimization part.
Yeah. And Andy, if you have heard of Andy before, you're probably familiar with him as a Link to the Past randomizer runner. It's kind of what he is maybe best known for. But as you can see, also very competent Mario player here as well.
He's got his second, Andy's got his second checkpoint.
Yeah, making great progress here. Oh, unfortunately, that's not a flippable block there, so just got to wait for whatever is going on here. Oh,
Picking up
some fire. There we go.
This section with the swamp kills 2woGood for a couple of times already.
Yeah, that's tough. And those we see those spike hitboxes, rear their ugly heads. Seem to have been a little bit of a tweak between Super Mario Maker 1 and 2 that extended the area of those hitboxes a little bit.
It's extended the side areas of the spikes because before it was pretty safe. You could even do like jumps when there is one tile gap between two rows of spikes, and you could safely fall down, and it's not possible in Mario Maker 2 anymore.
Yeah. So Andy has finished his third stage, which officially is time for him. Now 2woGood will essentially have an extra minute and a half or so on top of this time to finish. So looking like that's probably not likely. You'd have to finish this stage and pretty much speed run the next one in order to do that. So it's looking like probably 2 points for Andy here. But I believe 2woGood will have some time to work on catching up, finishing the levels so that he is familiar with them before they begin the optimization stage.
It's definitely worth spending time now on getting to know level, because next section is about optimizing, and it can be tricky if you do it blindly first.
Yeah. And, you know, in a way, 2woGood's getting some free reps on this. You know, like the longer he attempts this beginning part, the more solid he's going to get at that part, which will be helpful when it comes time to grind the time down.
Getting the muscle power, muscle memory to know the level.
Yeah, like this movement right here seems pretty optimal.
I think we're now officially past the 10% difference between two runs, so definitely Andy gets his 2 points.
That's nice. Yeah, see, that's pretty optimized there. Able to keep the momentum going off of the swamp. Ooh, same thing that happened to Andy up there. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if that parachute indicator will catch on. I like that. The like quarter circle down there.
Let's see if 2woGood is able to go back to the same spot with bullet bill launchers.
Yeah, just in that claw for like a fraction of a second, so fast.
It's interesting how momentum works with those claws.
Yeah, it definitely trips me up.
You have to get adjusted for those claws. It's a new addition for Mario Maker 2, and I was playing a lot of Mario Maker 1, and the claws, for some time, they were one of the most trickiest elements that were added, because like you have to calculate momentum, and it really depends on how you landed in the claw and when you go away from the claw. So
Yeah.
it's a cool addition.
Oh yeah,
Mario Maker.
Yeah, they're super cool. Even like whether you come from below or above can also sort of affect the how far you swing. You know, if you come from above, then you probably won't swing out as high. Whereas you come from below, you're kind of following the circumference of that circle, and it's gonna swing a lot further for you. But it definitely takes some playing around with to kind of get used to them
and understanding the momentum and how it works. Yeah,
absolutely. Especially in when it comes to speed runs like this and trying to get the fastest time you can. You know, the less time you spend in that, the better. You're kind of just using it for a second jump. And commentators curse. Oh no. Toad. Stop copying me, Toad. Yeah, staying in the claw just a little bit longer now. Try to just get past that part. Keep working on progress here. But yeah, it's funny, when you do have situations like this where you're trying to overcome an obstacle that's, 20, 30 seconds after a checkpoint, all of that stuff from the checkpoint to the point you're working on, it's just like free reps for optimization, because you're just like, all right, I need to get back to where I was, and you just like, speed through it because you're tired of having to play it so many times.
GG.
And there it is. GG. Well done. So satisfying to see someone try and then get it like that. So that's awesome.
And now 2woGood knows this level, and he will be able to optimize it pretty well.
Absolutely.
He wants to try this third level.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to be given some time here to play through this level. I don't know exactly how much, but as we saw from Andy's side, it definitely doesn't seem to be as difficult as that second one, so should be able to make his way through with not too many problems here. There's a lot going on in this level. It's kind of a lot to take in when you first spawn in. Like, okay, where do I even go here? But 2woGood making his way up the tower, collecting that P-switch. Ooh, bad timing.
Looks like players got like 2 puzzle levels in this run.
Yeah, it is kind of like that.
It's not very often to see good puzzle levels. Some of them are too tricky to figure out, but those levels are pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And there is definitely, especially with that first one, and also with this one, definitely a level of execution that's required as well. So it's still, very valid to, be kind of competing, against one another with levels like these.
There is still room for optimization for all those levels.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Need to respect the cycles of those bullet bills. Make sure there's no more surprises. Looks like he's being patient. Looked like he was just trying to duck for the bullet bill and then put the shellman on there. I don't know if that was the plan, but it's always good to have a shellman.
I don't remember exactly if he needs the shell for something else.
I don't either.
On.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, I guess we'll find out. The other nice thing, though, is once you put on the shellmet, it's the game considers the fact that there's no longer a shell as a projectile around, so it will give you another shell once you put the shellmet on.
Yeah. If you hold the shell in Mario's hands and go through the door, the shell would not respawn. But when you put it on your head, it will respawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the bullet bill, the way it works is only one item, only one of its items can be on the screen at once, so.
Here goes the part with firing up the bomb.
Finding that angle. You can even see it too, there's a little space right there. So if you stand in exactly the right place, you can get that bomb lit.
He's playing. 2woGood is playing it safe, taking on the shellmet to safely go through the fire bars.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any reason not to just damage boost through there, despite working really hard to get all those power-ups. You can just kind of blow through there. You don't really need them after you use them to do what you needed them to do. Yeah, some interesting contraptions in this level here.
That always excites me, how level creators come up with all those ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the end of the day, Super Mario Maker 2 is basically just like a physics engine, and they give you all these cool toys to play with, and there's some really incredible things that you can accomplish with the right kind of setup. In fact, during group rounds, we played a level that took advantage of RNG. Some of the enemies have true RNG where you actually don't know what they're going to do, and they set up a contraption that essentially made it so that you would get one of 4 different paths completely randomly. So every time you played the level, you didn't know what you were going to get. That's the kind of stuff that I love to see from the community and the creators. Meanwhile, 2woGood having some issues here with some Potobos and some turtles and Yoshis. Just a lot of pandemonium going on down there.
Finally finds his way to the second section. His timer is running out.
He's got about 74 seconds left. Speaking of level creation, another shout out to our level creators for this event. This level that you're seeing 2woGood play specifically is created by GFE, who's created several levels for our tournament. And then the others. The desert level created by House Panther and our first level created by Bob McName. And if you'd like to play those levels, you can check out the codes there at the bottom of the screen.
2woGood taking his death to reset the timer, I believe.
Yeah, and with the checkpoint right there, why not, right?
Yep.
It sounds like Andy's helping him through here, helping him avoid the pitfalls that he made. Grab that fire first.
This level definitely requires some knowledge about Mario Maker mechanics, because if you wouldn't know that Yoshi can take the fire from the flamethrower, you wouldn't know how to do it.
Yeah, fortunately, both of these runners seem to be pretty familiar with the tenets of Mario Maker 2 and the physics and all that, so that hasn't been too much of an issue. Now, in Endless, it is definitely possible that we could run into stages where it's like, I just don't know what to do here. I don't know how to do this. But fortunately, there's no problem with skipping. You can skip as many levels as you want when we get to that point. And there's the end tape.
Taking the
2woGood finishes.
ending with the the one-up.
Yeah. All right. And finishing at 27 minutes and 59 seconds, keeping it under half an hour for you. So now the players, as we mentioned, are going to have a chance to optimize those 3 levels. So with a pool of 30 minutes they can use however they'd like, they can continue attempts at these 3 levels in an effort to get their time as low as possible. The one that has the lower time on any given stage will get a point. If they're able to get over 10% less than the other person, then they'll get 2 points. That's hard to say. It's hard to phrase that exactly right, but it makes sense when you see the times written out, and we'll explain that when we get to that point.
Yeah, it's definitely the 10% difference between the best times of both players. If it's less than 10%, then the winner gets 1 point. If that's more than 10%, so the winner gets 2 points.
Yeah. There you go. You did a better job than me.
It's pretty straightforward, and I believe the software that you can see the scores up above the screen, it will calculate the points based on times.
Yeah, we got it all set up. So if you're just joining us, this is SpeedGaming Live 2019. It is a live 4-day event here in Herndon, Virginia, where we've got all sorts of tournaments laid out that folks are participating in, including this Super Mario Maker 2 tournament that you're seeing, which is currently in semifinals. We've also had all sorts of other tournaments. I'm going to try to name some. Feel free to just throw them out. Link to the Past randomizer, Super Mario Bros. 3 randomizer, Zooter, Ocarina of Time randomizer. All right, you do some now.
Super Metroid.
Okay.
There were some marathons for different games, like older, smaller games. That is all really exciting to see how people do like so many different games and speedrunning those and getting so exciting times, so amazing times on those games.
Yeah.
It's a really cool event.
Yeah. There's also I'm not sure if it's still going on yet, but SpeedGaming 2 has had a marathon running of speed runs that some of the attendees here were able to do, and we've been able to provide that for you as well. So check that. I'm not sure if that's still going on, but it has been going on pretty much this whole weekend. So check those VODs. It looks like the marathon is still going on, so be sure to check that out. And it's just been a super fun time just hanging out with a bunch of other people that love to play a bunch of video games. So today is the final day. We are finishing up some of these tournaments, including this one.
Make sure you check the finals for all the mentioned games, because it's coming up today.
Super Metroid Double Anti-Bingo, that was another one. That's another tournament. I'm sure there's more. So yeah, just go to search SpeedGaming Live 2019 on Google. I'm sure you'll find all the info that you need. Definitely recommend checking it out. There's going to be a lot of really awesome VODs and YouTube videos to watch over the next coming weeks.
Players had to restart their software because the way Profile works, it caches your previously played levels, and if you play more levels and then go to your Profile, it caches the previous one, and there is no refresh button, so you have to close the software and start it again. So
I was wondering why it was doing that.
yeah, some of the technical issues, but
Yeah, and the reason they do that is so they play the levels initially in CourseBot just because that's where they go when you download them. But it's helpful to play this optimization stage in your recently played in Course World instead, because then it will remember your best time. And if there were ever any questions, or maybe your handwriting is really terrible when you write down your time and we need to go look at it again, we can. Whereas if we were in CourseBot, we couldn't. So Andy does have the world record on the one-floor Martyrdom Mansion, but he's probably he's the second person ever to beat it. So
Andy has 2 points. It's probably some of the technical issues. Yeah, now the scores are correct. And shortly we're gonna see some optimization from the players. Looks like the players pick different levels to start optimizing first. There is no strict rule on the order. They can do the levels in any order they want. So looks like Andy's gonna work on the one floor Martyrdom Mansion, and 2woGood will be working on the Legend of the Mushroom Cloud.
yeah, and it's interesting to find out which one they're going to start with. I like the strategy of starting with the one that you just played last because it's the freshest in your mind. You're still kind of. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. Yeah, we're just vamping. Looks like we're getting ready to get started here.
And now the countdown goes.
Shout out to Zero Planes doing our countdown. All right, and here we go. Optimization time.
You can do really precise wall jumps in this level that 2woGood is working on, but it really sometimes it's really one frame wall jump that matters.
Yeah, another thing that you'll see in this optimization stage is the runner's standards getting a lot higher. So, some maybe like a quick double back or a hesitation on one platform, that could be worth a reset sometimes. If you can do it faster and you've got time, then you're going to see him get a lot pickier here.
And you will definitely see the players not taking an advantage of checkpoints because there is no reason to do checkpoints. You're trying just to one-shot the level without any death.
Yeah. If there was a really, really difficult level, then maybe you just want to finish it. But I anticipate both of our runners being able to finish these just fine. So it's really going to be about who's got that faster time.
2woGood decides to probably move on to the next level.
Yeah, just wasn't feeling it seems like. And let's also remember, these two runners are literally on a stage right now. So let's not discount the pressure that comes along with, having to play video games good on command, and also having several thousand people watching you do it. So I'm sure there's definitely an element of nerves here. So both runners now working on the Martyrdom Mansion stage by Bob McDame.
I'm not sure if it's a cheese strat, but taking the Yoshi to the other room looks like a pretty good strategy to do the level.
Yeah, I like that. I wonder if that is cheese. Yeah, it's hard to tell with something like that because also a lot of these creators are themselves speedrunners, and I know it's certainly not uncommon to put maybe a kind of not hidden track, but account for people trying to go as fast as they can on your level and maybe have a casual route and a faster route. And, the example of being able to take Yoshi from one room to another could actually be sort of the creator acknowledging, there is sort of a faster way if you come up with it, because the other option would be them discovering that and then putting in some sort of cheese prevention, and making sure that can't happen anymore. But it could have been missed, it could have been intentional, but either way, I'm sure the runners will take advantage if they can. So 2woGood was working on a strat trying to hit multiple POWs at once, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like the munchers were affected by the POW when it was done that way. So you kind of have to go back and forth.
Andy finds a strategy how to kill multiple munchers at once. When you throw the POW into munchers, it kills 2 munchers at once. So this probably can be one of the speed strats that players can use.
Smart.
2woGood was trying to get the POW with him in the other room, but the other room requires spin jumping, and in Mario Maker 2 it's not possible to spin jump with an item in hands. It was a big change for comparing to Mario Maker 1, so the Nintendo decided that you will not be able to carry an item when you spin jump anymore.
Yeah. I don't know how they come up with decisions like that. Like, this has to change. Like, I didn't realize it was a big deal, but okay, Nintendo, if you say so.
When the Mario Maker first came out, it was a big deal for makers that got used to the levels when you spin jump with an item and then throw it, but
yeah,
it's not possible anymore.
Yeah.
The players are working on their optimizations, by the way.
And you saw Andy in the room that 2woGood is in now, looking for some extra mileage they can get, maybe skipping some of those saws and not having to worry about those and just jumping right over them. Again, we got to go fast.
Are they killing Yoshi in this room? That's cruel.
It seems to be part of it. Yeah, it's not just about killing her, doing damage to yourself, but it seems to also be about Yoshi sacrifices. All right, Andy's got a nice rhythm going through these rooms. That is the key. Let's see what kind of time that is.
I think for the first run for the level, it's not that important to get like the perfect time. It's important to get just some time and then work on the optimization of that time.
Yeah, you need some sort of baseline to be set too, and I think it's helpful to have a number in your head when you're doing a second attempt to know, like, okay, this feels like it's probably faster or slower than 55 seconds, which, by the way, world record for Andy, very nice. 55 seconds, .283. So I would guess he's probably going to move on to another level after that. Legend of the Mushroom Cloud. This was the second stage in the race format.
This level that Andy's working on is probably the most difficult precision level. It's not about puzzles, it's more about just like precise jumps.
For sure. Did he just wall jump off of a P-switch?
Yeah.
That was crazy. I thought he was dead, and I think he might have thought that too. But again, like I was saying before, when you're trying to optimize little mistakes, like even if he could have saved it, he knows he can do it faster, so let's just restart. But that was kind of wonky. Ooh.
Missing those brick block.
So we're about 7 minutes and 45 seconds in. Reminder, we have 30 minutes total. The runners, I should say, have 30 minutes total with which to work. which you would think would be about 10 minutes a stage, but I've found that it rarely ever works out exactly that way. Priorities will change based on what your opponent is doing, how comfortable you feel with a level. If you feel like you can, shave some time off of a particular level in a particular place, you might spend a little bit more time there. There's also, we might see a strategy of maybe 2woGood wants to play some defense, and they just pick one level and they just, absolutely tear through it for 20 to 25 minutes, and they get 2 points on that one, but they give up their points on the other. So there's a lot of ways that you can sort of strategize and sort of game this tournament format, which I really like, that there's kind of that extra element to it.
You could see the good speedrun strat from Andy with missing the platforms and doing twirls to the next section. It was pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, and you see a little bit of a different strategy Andy has there, bouncing on that sideways moving thwomp twice instead of... we saw 2woGood when he was doing his attempts had a kind of a faster path through that. And Andy finishes the second level. That was all one shot. So again, it'll be a great baseline and maybe even good enough to kind of sit on. Okay, 111.843.
He's got one death in this level.
Oh,
so
that was a death.
yeah.
Okay, my bad. Yep, looks like he's going to just jump back in, try to get that one shot.
Deathless.
We also saw 2woGood land on top of that, I don't know if it was the first or second wall jump block that's back to the right of the stage there. Looked like it could save some time. Minor optimization. Andy looking good. Yeah, you can just kind of do one big jump on that, as we learned from 2woGood. Not that, what Andy did didn't work just fine.
What Andy did is a little bit safer than just hitting with thwomp once and landed on this spike.
I would agree. Really slick move at the end there, jumping off the two bullet bills to go right up to the pipe. It was good heads up to head to the right of that top section instead of getting up there and then running right. Definitely saved some good time there. And he gets a time of 57 seconds and some change this time. It looks like he's going to take that.
It's really close to the world record.
It was about a second off or so. So yeah, he's satisfied with that for now. He's going to head to that third stage that we saw during the race. Mario's Mirrored Madness 1-2 by GFE.
Players got a little less than 20 minutes left. We'll see how it goes. Yep, it's definitely killing Yoshi.
Yeah, terrible. So the stage that Andy's working on right now is interesting because it seems like there's a lot of unavoidable waiting that has to be done at certain parts. So that introduces chances for optimization where, maybe we can find ways to accomplish two tasks at once, while we wait for one thing to do another. So we'll see if there's any of those sort of opportunities in this stage.
Andy damage boost. Oh,
needed that fire flower. Looks like he's just gonna start over. Not a bad idea. Get another clean run in. Very spooky music for this stage. We're hearing 2woGood's audio, and he's working on this haunted house stage. And another one of the things they introduced in Super Mario Maker 2 are extra sound effects. And a few of the sound effects are pretty much just new soundtracks, just new tracks. So, and this is one of them. It's just kind of ambient spooky noise, but you'll occasionally hear like a glass shattering in the background or something. That's the music from 2woGood side. Tremolo strings. It's all very very scary. Just in time for Halloween.
Oh yeah.
It's coming up.
The ghost house is really like Halloween themed.
Perfect theming.
And is making progress on optimizing the third of his levels.
Interesting to note, Mario's Mirrored Madness 1-2 that Andy is working on does appear to be perfectly symmetrical. Looks like different things coming out of those two pipes, but other than that, it's kind of a cool element. Oh, there's a checkpoint on one side that's not on the other. I think that's the only thing. All right, 2woGood logs the time there for the Martyrdom Mansion stage. There's a 1:05.566, so about 10 seconds slower than Andy on that one. We'll have to see if he... It looks like he wants to move on.
Yeah, it's only 15 minutes, a little bit over than 15 minutes left, so it's worth at least getting his baseline time on other levels.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to make sure you at least log a time to try to prevent your opponent from getting 2 points instead of 1. You know, if you log a time, even if you don't win, as long as it's close enough to your opponent's time, then you can kind of defend against them getting that extra point. Ooh. Yeah, 2woGood looking really good at the beginning of that stage because they did have a lot of attempts at it before, but there are still definitely lots of tricky jumps in there that demand perfection. Ooh.
Those spike hitboxes.
Yeah, and the momentum. Those were the two culprits there for that death. The spike hitboxes and the momentum. Andy looks like getting better at finding that exact correct angle to get those bombs lit.
I see how triple jump can prevent players from doing like precise jump on the platform, and it's interesting design of a level. I wonder if level creator did those triple jumps.
Yeah,
and if it's intended.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of times you'll see creators require a triple jump by making the player jump 2 times and then having some sort of obstacle or something to clear that you would have to do a triple jump in order to get over. But on this stage, we are seeing some instances of 2 jumps, and then the 3rd jump comes, and it's a tiny jump. So it's almost you have to fight the urge to do that, you know, that big triple jump that you're normally used to doing when you play levels like this one. Yeah, that's some pretty optimal movement.
That's a speedrun strat. Getting the shell with him and running through without getting the P-switch.
Nice. That seems like some cheese. That's good. Delicious. Andy's going to log a world record time of 1 minute 50 seconds, .998. So he currently has times logged for all 3.
And we have 13 minutes left, so he has some time for optimizing his levels.
Yeah, so he's just because he has times and his opponent doesn't does not mean he's done. He wants to try to continue to get these times as low as possible in the event that 2woGood turns in his times and ends up getting faster. Yeah, see, there's that triple jump you were talking about. It launched him right into those spikes there. Now it almost looks like you could jump up to that higher wall right there. That could be what we were talking about earlier, how sometimes the creator puts in some speedrun, capabilities and strats and things, opportunities, I should say. That could be one of those. It looks like you could maybe get up there and save yourself having to jump back and forth one time, which obviously is going to be faster. Tsuka's got a nice run going here. All right.
He's clearing this level.
I believe that was a one-shot, so that should be competitive. $58,742. So about 3 seconds off. Now that will put them within the 1-point range, I do believe, doing some quick math in my head here. So they are at least safe of that. They've defended against that extra point that Andy could take. But it looks like they are going to go back to the Mirrored Madness stage. This is stage 3 2woGood's working on. Same
The
as Andy.
software is doing math for us, so yeah, it's 1 point.
Excellent.
There is a lot of waiting in this level, so even if you want to rush, there is no way to rush because you have to wait until some things work out for you.
Yeah, wait for the beetles, wait for the vines, wait for the fire.
Yeah, for the potables.
Ooh, it's good timing on that spring. Okay, Andy turns in another time for Mario's Mirrored Madness. Let's see how that one stacks up.
Looks like he's optimized this time pretty well.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, cutting almost a full 2 seconds off of that, going down to 149.166. So I have to imagine that will be good for that one. Let's see where it goes next. Alright, he's going to work on that new soup desert level.
I believe this level also has some room for optimization, like more perfect wall jumps. Oh, doing this triple.
Yeah, he might hurt us. It looked like it was a little low, but it could be possible. Yeah, I don't know. It would just barely clip the bottom if it were possible.
Probably if you do it from the very edge of the platform, the brick blocks here.
Oh, it's so close. So we've got about 8 minutes left here. Andy's sitting pretty comfortable with his times, so, trying something like this is, why not? If he lands it, it definitely will be faster, so, there is that to consider. And then, he could do everything else exactly the same as he did it before. Oh, there we go. That cuts out a little bit of time there as well, getting creative with some of these paths here.
That's a nice shortcut with triple jump.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it's pretty tricky to execute this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now, unfortunately, I would say all things considered, it probably cuts like maybe half a second, maybe a little bit less. Of course, every little bit counts, as we know. This is the optimization stage after all, but that's still pretty fast too. And it seemed like maybe that floating sort of strat was not too terribly faster, not much faster.
Sometimes cutting off even one frame pays off.
Sure,
Even for like personal satisfaction, you got the world record,
Yeah.
and you're doing like you cut off one more frame, like a couple of milliseconds, and it's exciting.
Sure. Yeah, no, I won't deny that. But then there's also the element of, how difficult is it to do?
Oh, yeah.
How much time are you going to invest in trying to make that happen? There you see another platform skipped by Andy, saving the seconds there.
And 2woGood is working on this two sides level. It's pretty difficult to optimize, and he's got good strategy to optimize it by like having extra items with him. Let's see how 2woGood come up with the ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, without that advantage of being able to do the kind of things Andy was able to do, it's going to be hard to get that same sort of time. But he could have some additional tricks up his sleeve. See what he's able to come up with. So soon we will be at just about 5 minutes left. So this is sort of last call. Ooh, and taking a really tough death on literally the last thing that can hurt you on that stage.
I believe he was trying to do it faster, but
Yeah, he clipped it a little too. Yeah, a little too
did
much.
it really short jump, shorter than it required.
Yeah. There's a very slight difference between being in front of it and hitting it and being just one pixel higher, and now Mario can jump off of it. Toad, I should say. And he was just a bit under on that one, unfortunately.
I feel like everyone, despite the different characters that you can pick, everyone calls them Mario.
Yeah,
anyway.
This Toad is a Mario.
They're all different looking Marios.
Yeah, they all control exactly the same. Probably worth mentioning. 2woGood turning in time on Mario's Mirrored Madness. Let's see how it stacks up. 158.233. So that's going to be about 9 seconds slower. I'm not positive whether or not that's going to be within the time, but the software will figure it out for us. We'll see if that's going to be 1 or 2 points. Looks like just 1.
And is making similar mistake, just overshooting the second bullet bill for a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually grabbing some practice now, because he's started from checkpoint here, which of course is not going to be a faster time, but he will have the added benefit of being able to practice this part without having to play the beginning again, of course.
We have only a little bit over of 3 minutes left, so it's not a lot of time to optimize more.
It's not, but one important thing to mention is that the runners will have an opportunity to finish the run that they're on once time ends. So you could even enter a stage with 1 second left, and you'll be allowed to do that entire attempt at the stage.
Yeah, spending this life instead of just like giving up.
So, going back to 2woGood, finishing Mario's Mirrored Madness, was able to defend from the extra point, is close enough to Andy's time to only constitute Andy gaining 1 point on that.
And I don't see the time for 2woGood for the first level. Looks like he decided to move on.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like maybe he is confident in the time that he could get on this one, and maybe wants to focus on trying to take this point, and is just going to allow, the 2 points on One Floor Martyrdom Mansion. Kind of like we were talking about. It sounds like he's got sort of a strategy he's employing here.
He was able to clear the first level, though. I just don't remember the time.
Well, he cleared it in the race, but the fact that we don't have an optimization time for it, I don't think he's done it in this optimization stage.
I'm confused.
I guess I am too. Maybe we can get some clarification. Everyone else is shrugging. I don't think he turned in a time on that. I don't think he's optimized it. I could be wrong about that. But
Yeah, sometimes it's worth to move on to the next level and just try to optimize it better, instead of just grinding the level that is really difficult and you cannot figure out how to do it better.
yeah, that seems to be what the strategy is here.
Looks like 2woGood has picked up the strategy that ended it.
Ooh, it'd be nice to get that first cycle.
I don't think there is a way to get it first cycle.
Ooh, he lost this. He lost the shell.
Because of the explosion.
Well, we have 1 minute left, and it looks like he's going to get one more shot at this.
Players do have opportunities to finish their one life that they're working on, but they will not be able to start a new run.
Right. Just about finished with our official time. Ooh, Andy, it looks like might get one more attempt at this.
He has a couple of seconds, and
Yep.
he's not.
Well,
doing
no,
that.
he's because he's starting with checkpoint. He probably could have done a start from beginning if he wanted to and squeaked it in, but it's. I think he's probably satisfied with what he's got.
It's an official end for the second phase, but 2woGood has an attempt to finish his life. Even with all the optimizations, this level is pretty long.
Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of forced waiting, and there's just no way to get around some of the wait times here.
Like this, you have to wait for.
Wait for the Beatles. Take your time, little guys. Well, that almost came back to life in his hands. Hey, he gets the fire first cycle. Oh, now he's... There you go. Had to try not to accidentally kill that. Oh, he's done. All right, and that is the end of the optimization phase of the competition. So it looks like Andy's going to pick up 4 points here.
for the second
I think they
phase.
probably need to manually add the 2 from One Floor Martyrdom Mansion.
Or record like 99999
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
first level.
Exactly.
Looks like players don't see the times and official scoring for that, so they're discussing their scores.
Yeah, they're talking through strategies, I think, now. That we're done with these levels. We're going to be moving on to Endless Expert next, so no harm in talking shop a little bit.
They're definitely
Okay.
discussing the strategies because they did some.
Oh, right, yeah, we
levels-
did. That's right, because he was exactly 10 seconds slower. So there was a time for that. My
Okay.
mistake. It just happened so fast. I totally forgot it. So but regardless, Andy does pick up his 2 points there. So the points stay the same. So
They're
Andy,
discussing strategy, and Andy looks like Andy's showing how he did some.
Andy describing how he did it. We don't think that's intended, but who cares? Once you beat it, you beat it. You know.
Yeah, because 2woGood had some troubles after picking up the mushroom. He had some troubles climbing up the ledge. There was like one tile gap, and when you are a big Mario with the power up, it's hard to squeeze in that one tile gap.
Yeah.
You have to like duck jump, and
And then
it's
bop,
not,
bop, 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 bop.
yeah,
You
it's
just
not
like
easy.
tap the
And
button. Yeah.
going there without a power up would be some like saving sometimes a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
So now the third phase, playing expert, endless, and beating as many levels as you can.
Yep. So again, skips are totally fine. There's no penalty. Deaths also are totally fine. You might see one of these runners game over. That's not a problem. They're just going to try to jump back into it as quickly as they can. The only thing that counts are level completions, and that is 1 point each. I think it is worth mentioning that there was a group round stage where somebody came in. I think it was like 5-0 at this point, and then the person who was behind won 10 endless levels and won.
I believe it was in the race between 0 and 2woGood. So
Yeah.
2woGood did
2woGood,
better
yeah.
his first 2 phases, and 0 got 10 clears in expert mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
Incredible.
that can happen.
It can happen. It can absolutely happen. So this is still anyone's game. 2woGood has 893 stages cleared as a record on easy. I've never seen one that high.
I never played easy myself
think
because
I
it's
played-
like it's a lot of garbage just.
Yeah, it's a lot of just hold right to win. I think I tried it out like when the game first came out once.
You have to be patient to play probably even some of the normal stages because they are easier and they're not fun.
Yeah. Yeah, most people will test themselves on either super expert or expert. Oh,
So,
yeah.
they're
Okay,
ready to go.
let's go ahead and kick it off. I'm waiting on you guys. All right, here we go. King of the Ring on Andy's side, and a Japanese level on the left side. I don't know Japanese, so I can't tell you what the title is. Looks like a new speedrun level, though.
And it looks really like Super Mario Maker 1 speedrun.
It does, yeah. So Andy discovering a less than helpful door there. Just getting him some coins. Don't really need those.
The only downside of dying in this part is you spend a lot of time to restart the run.
Yeah, it's frustrating. You're just like mashing the button like, come on, come on, come on.
And the
Yeah.
animation for restarting is pretty long.
It's too long. Definitely too long.
Right?
All right, 2woGood doesn't want that one. I think Check the Time decided that it was going to take him too long. Andy taking an unfortunate leap of faith. It does not pan out for him.
So many different levels in the expert endless. You can see like some of the really good levels and very like thought out levels, and you can see some just like probably some child threw out
Yeah.
some enemies and beat it with the Death Star, and you just have to figure out where the Death Star is.
Yeah. So what Expert does is it's only giving levels that have a certain percentage clear rate. And forgive me, I don't know exactly what that is, but I think it's like between 5 and 10% clear.
I believe it's not exactly the percentage, because you can see some levels that were not cleared, so the algorithm is taking into account how well the creator cleared the level as well.
Okay.
So how many time was spent and how many attempts. I believe that's the logic, but no one knows exactly because up to Nintendo.
Yeah, they don't disclose stuff like that
Yeah.
always, but
I definitely saw a couple of levels that had no clear rate, clear time on them.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
but they ended up in expert, so it's probably based on the attempts that other players did and how difficult it was for creator to clear it.
Yeah, that sounds right. But given that that's the case, so the difficulty is sort of you can kind of glean the difficulty from the completion rate. Some of them are difficult because the creator created a challenging level for us to play, and some of them are difficult because the creator just threw stuff onto the stage and they're the only one that can make heads or tails of what's going on in there. So you'll see both good levels and bad levels aplenty in expert here.
2woGood is trying to do a speedrun, and he ended up off-screening the on-off switch, the shell that switching the on-off switch, and it was unfortunate. He just died there.
Yeah. Well, it was a fake out from the creator. It looks like you expected to. Yeah. So, but if you don't know that treadmill's down there, which 2woGood didn't, you plummet to your death. But the second time around, no problem. 2woGood gets a clear there. So 1 point.
2woGood gets his first clear.
Andy dealing with some Bowser fire. A very bouncy Ganon. Andy's in the lava.
Bowser.
Oh, what did I say?
Ganon.
Oh, sorry. Different big bad.
And
there's a clear.
First clear.
All right. So 1-1 in our endless, which brings the new total to 6-1.
I noticed a lot of players trying to do start over from the endless, and it doesn't work in endless.
Yeah, I did that a lot, unfortunately. Ooh.
All this muscle memory requiring you to hit like plus start over, and it doesn't work in endless.
Yeah. 2woGood deciding he doesn't want to mess with those claws or springs or that night stage or any of it. He just says no, thank you. When you hear the Nintendo 64 music, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
I mean, I like the music, but when a creator chooses to use that, I feel like I'm either going to get trolled or it's going to be like a speed run. One of the two.
I don't like when it happens too much in one run. So if you get so many levels with the same music, it's like, oh, I'm so tired of this music already.
For sure. That's why I like the like soundtracks that they added into the game. The extra music you can choose mixes things up a little bit. So Andy has a Super Mario the new theme, the 3D world, yes, which has some new tech. It's unique to this theme only.
Some clear pipes, and the problem with the 3D world, it is missing some of the like important things that are in other themes. So it's cool, but in a different way. It's really different.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting little alcove down there. What that's all about.
What?
Alucard.
Okay. So looks like Andy needs a key, and there is no way to get back into this clear pipe because there is no platform.
I wonder if he's gonna stick with this one. Yep, he is.
It's really interesting to see how players decide what to skip and what to continue grinding.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's some players have a itchy skip finger, I guess. They want to skip everything, and some are a little more committed to their levels. I think it's always going to be a combination of a few things when it comes to this. Andy deciding he's had enough of that stage. After you've run into 2 or 3 dead ends, it's like,
2woGood starts over when he's got a checkpoint.
Oh no. Meowser's Snow Castle. Andy doesn't like the time on that one. Get 2 new levels, classic level and Sky Speedrun 40 seconds. That looks like it could be a good candidate for a clear for Andy. Speedrun's, of course, going to be preferable because theoretically you can do more of them in the limited amount of time that we have here.
That is a fast on-off switches. If you check the 2woGood level,
Yeah.
it's like 2 on-off switches on both sides and shell. Oh,
That is fast.
it is.
You have to think fast for ones that are that fast.
It's really difficult to time those fast. And it's a game over for 2woGood, so he has to start his run from the beginning.
Yeah, so again, no problems there. Just has to wait a little bit longer before his next attempt.
It's the second clear for Andy.
Yep, and Andy was lucky that that was a clear condition level where you need to get 50 coins, but the creator was very nice and just put a big 50 coin right before the goal, so no problems there.
I don't see the point in this clear condition. It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't want to put any checkpoints in the level, so here you go. There is a clear condition.
Yeah.
Because you cannot add a checkpoint in a level that has clear condition.
Yeah, that's weird. Who knows what they were thinking? It looked like maybe a one-screen puzzle or something.
Yeah,
I just caught a glimpse. I was watching Andy's screen, but that looked
Looks
like
like
there was a lot going on.
Yeah, 2woGood looks like he's got a one-screen puzzle. It can be fast when you know what to do, but figuring out what to do in one-screen puzzle can be
Forget it. Yeah, especially if
take
it's
forever.
if it's in expert right now, then you know it's not a pushover kind of puzzle, and definitely not going to have the time to sort through all that right now.
So the world record was like 30 seconds, but it's definitely for the
That-
person who knows how
Yeah.
exactly to do things.
That's if you know exactly what you're doing. Andy getting another clear. So I believe that's 3 now in Endless.
That's
Yeah,
3 now.
very nice. One pipe that you couldn't go in, and another pipe with an enemy that killed you. 2 bad pipes. And so Andy's playing the claw game here. Oh, there it goes. Didn't get a key out of that like you might have thought he was going to. I'm not sure what was going on there. He decides he doesn't want to figure it out either.
The level that 2woGood is playing is a little bit unfair. You have to run, and then you have to, in the lava, you have to notice that some of the blocks are not one-tile gaps, but more. Try to do a leap of faith.
Oh, I
and
wonder if you could make that. It looks like you could almost make that with the exact right
Probably.
spins.
Probably if you get a triple jump there.
Oh, good point. Yeah, a triple jump would probably do it too.
But
Looks like
it's really difficult to time that triple jump in this condition.
It is, absolutely.
Oh,
Ooh, a lot of poison mushrooms there. I think 2woGood's going to stick with this one, though. It looks like he was maybe thinking about skipping, but this has potential to maybe be fast. Might be trying to go for the YOLO jump here, just to see. No, he's going to go back in. Yeah, once you know those are there, they're easy enough to avoid. Ooh, that was a close one. That looked creator intended to me. What a weird level. Who makes a level like that? It's just a bunch of space and then like some thwomp spam. Like he's gonna try it again. It's a weird level, but it was understandable enough. You know, it seemed simple enough. But eventually deciding, you know, after taking another death, that let's see what else Endless has.
It's every time the decision if it's worth to invest the time in the level, because it can take forever, even for easier level, just to figure out what to do.
Yeah. Of course, it's the not knowing, and you kind of have to make inferences. You know, if the creator has trolled me once, they're probably going to troll me again in some other way. Then that's going to be another death I'm going to have to deal with. So let's just not put ourselves through that. Let's get a different level. Ideally, you want the fairest levels you can find here. You know.
Yep. Fairest and shortest.
Yeah, fairest and shortest, exactly.
SpeedGaming now dying of fishes. This is a new addition to Mario Maker 2, the combined water other levels, and what's interesting in those levels, if you hit the fish in the water, you get hitbox no matter what side of the fish you hit. And if you hit the fish in the air,
Nice job by 2woGood avoiding those
if you
saws
hit
there.
the fish in the air, you can kill the fish.
Yeah. It's weird how it changes like that. So 2woGood picking up a clear. Andy also got a clear about 30 seconds ago, so
World
he adds on to his
record.
title. And there's another.
2woGood got world record and he's clear.
Very nice. Play Dead or Be Dead by Big Man Drew. Another spooky level, just in time for Halloween.
And they got classic dark level where you don't see anything at all.
Yeah.
The nice thing here, it has highlights, so if you hit the on-off block, it highlights the whole stage, but it's anyway it's hard to remember and see everything.
Yeah.
It's not a bad level though.
It is nice that it lights up when the screen scrolls there for you. Kind of lets you see what's going on. Kind of a cool gimmick.
No.
What's going on with that? Oh, I see. Okay, we got a little pinball. And 2woGood picking up another clear. That's two really quick ones. We've got about 7.5 or 6.5 minutes. This is a nice kind of one-screen challenge level that Andy's got here, hitting these springs so that you can bounce the shell around. Looks to be a pretty well-made level.
And it's a clever usage of the scroll stop feature of the Mario Maker 2. When you can place the wall that stops the auto scroll, and then you have to hit like bomb that breaks the block, and then you can scroll further.
Yeah, I love that. I'm really glad they added that in Super Mario Maker 2. 2woGood dealing with a speedrun level. This could also be a great way to pick up another clear quickly. Ooh.
I'm missing this jump. Those speedruns can be frustrating. They can be really fast, but sometimes you just like spend so many time and miss one jump, and you keep dying in this place.
Yeah. A 30-second speedrun though, so I'd say probably worth sticking with. It looks like 2woGood agrees.
There is a clear condition in this level. You have to get coins. That is crazy.
Yeah, it seems...
That's fortunate.
Oh, so it's letting him go through the part he
Yeah.
went through before to get the coins. So that's nice. At least they gave him that. It is...
Has a reset door, yeah, but where are the other coins?
Yeah, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to look for them anymore. It's understandable.
He was missing like 5 coins.
On the 2woGood side, we have a SMB Night Forest level.
Precision jump level looks like.
It's probably my favorite comedy. I like the new music that they got here. It's
Forest
yeah,
is
I
really
like.
beautiful.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Ooh, Andy encountering a giant bullet bill. Looks like maybe it was supposed to be some sort of damage boost on those springs, or maybe he was just late and he was supposed to jump off of it. Either way, not gonna mess with it anymore. On-off switch speedrun thwomps. That could be a candidate.
2woGood is working on this precision level, and this level is pretty fair because it doesn't have like death pit or the floor made of spikes.
And there's the
It's
end right
really
there.
nice.
Yeah, that was great clear. Good choice of level.
some of those levels can be frustrating because they like, if you fall, you die. And
Yeah.
this level is fair.
Yeah, and Andy
Don't
picking
keep
up
trying.
another win too. So it seems like that's the second time now that both have cleared a level, kind of one right next to each other there. So they're keeping it.
So
Andy is defending, keeping it competitive.
4 to 6 in the third phase.
Yeah.
And it's less than 3 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Very tight spin jump here for 2woGood. It's like less than a tile.
The level that Andy's working on has some intentional damage boosts, kind of reminiscent of the One Floor Martyrdom Mansion that we spent so much time in earlier. Ooh, that angle there, that was unfortunate. It was a very good chance he could have bonked off one of the top of those, but
And
the angle was unfortunate.
And
Andy,
it is
yeah.
another clear.
Another clear, wow. Also has not taken a game over. And currently has 18 lives, which you start with 15, so they're actually positive 3 lives. So this is a really, really good expert run here. He's going to skip that one. Not interested.
2woGood keeps avoiding like really tight deaths, possible deaths. So
And there's the end. Excellent. Picks up another win. Yeah, these are 2 really good Mario Maker players that we're watching right now. And a world record. Nice.
doing a sprint drop is much harder. Mario Maker 2 changed how the physics works for sprints, so doing the easier, pretty like one of the easier Kaiser tricks that was in Mario Maker 1, doing the sprint jump in the Mario Maker 2 is much more difficult. So Andy tried to do that and he failed. It's difficult to do.
Yeah, we've got about 20 seconds left here. 20 seconds starting now here. And unlike the last phase of this competition, the time does stop right at 20 minutes. There's no finishing your run. So we are just about at the end of this match. In fact, I hear the runners' timers are going off now, so that officially calls it. Andy is the winner of this Super Mario Maker 2 semifinals race. GG to Andy, and well played, 2woGood. I believe we're going to have both of them over for a little post-game interview here. But before we do that, we will cut to a message from our sponsors. Always wanted to say that. Yeah, just watch it. Say whatever comes to your mind, pretty much. All right, welcome back. We are now joined with the two runners from the Super Mario Maker Tour Super Mario Maker 2 semifinals match that we just watched. We have our winner, Andy. GG, Andy. And we have 2woGood. Well played, 2woGood.
If you say so.
So let's start with Andy. I have a question. So I think it's fair to say probably most folks know you for your Zelda playing, for A Link to the Past, both speed running and randomizer. What is your relationship with Super Mario Maker like?
It's definitely not as prevalent for sure, but I have a ton of friends in the Mario Maker community. I play with them every once in a while. A bunch of my friends like it. It's fun to stream just because it's literally Mario randomizer. And I'm just good at platforming, so it's always piqued my interest. I streamed the first one like on release for probably like a month after it came out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a fun game to play.
Nice. And 2woGood, I got a peek at your easy mode. I think you have like 623 stages or something
I think
like
it's
that?
over 800.
Yeah, okay.
There's a little story behind that, I guess.
Okay.
Just because I wanted the aesthetics. So I was like, grinding easy must be the easiest thing because like all I have to do is no life it. So I did that, and then I was like, top 1,000 was bronze or something like that, and I was like, okay, that means top 500 might be silver. So I got to top 500, and I was like, and then it wasn't. So I was like, top 300, top 250. I was like, no, still. So after I hit top 250, this was the first week it came out. Then I didn't have silver, and I was just like, well, I'm done with this now. I was like, I'm not going for this.
Yeah.
It would have been easier if I just played super safe, super expert, and then gotten top 100 with 3 clears or something day one.
Yeah, but definitely fair to say you play the game a lot, and that's very obvious from your play. So walk us through the matches there of those first 3 stages. It seemed like that middle one, the desert one, was execution wise probably the toughest, right?
Yeah, which is weird because the speedrun stages typically historically in this race have been my strong suit. That one was just the hardest speedrun stage I've seen in the tournament.
Yeah. So Andy, we had a couple. The first stage and the third stage were kind of almost a little more puzzle-ish in nature. What kind of things did you find yourself doing to cut time on stages like that?
So like the first through the blind race, I actually saw him do like the Yoshi crouch jump, and I was like, oh, I can do that, because I still don't know how to do it normally.
Neither of us do.
Because there's the POW block. Like the POW block can't be there for no reason, and there's like the conveyor underneath. Like I'm assuming you had to like POW block and then have it like go through the conveyor or something. But so yeah, I saw that, and then going into the speed run of that first level, I knew that the POW block was going to be the first one, like all the damage boosting, and then taking the mushroom, since the mushroom for the shell boat was like super far out of the way compared to all the rest. I did that one with the mushroom I stole from the POWs, and then at that point it was just like making sure I did the other rooms properly.
Nice. Yeah, well, it definitely worked out. Mashku, do you have any questions?
Does the sitting close to each other helps in finding some strats, like overlooking some better strats to each other found out? What do you think, guys?
I think it's a really fun way to play. Like maybe not the best way to do it in a competitive aspect, because we can see each other. So like, but it's the most fun. I love watching my opponents play, and every time they do something cool or something stupid happens, then like we laugh together. Everybody's been really cool in the tournament. We've all root each other on because we can see each other's screen. So it's super fun to be able to do that, and also stealing people's strategies is and we joke about it too. Like we're like
I'm taking that.
When I was playing with you, I was like I totally stole that from you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're all pretty.
It's definitely fun, and like you're not going to see everything because you're playing your own game. So like you're only watching when you're dead, basically.
Yeah.
So like you're not always going to get a ton of info, but when you do, making the best of it is an actual strategy with the format we got here.
Yeah, optimization doesn't care who came up with it.
Exactly.
Optimization is optimization. Do we have any questions from chat?
No,
We're
looks
good?
like we don't have any questions. I have one more question for you guys. Did the strategy for skipping levels in Expert Endless change during the couple of last days during the runs? Did you find optimizing the skipping strategy?
I usually skip if the record is like too much over a minute and a half. I got really lucky. I had some pretty fast levels there. And then there was one long one that I did that was like the auto scroller with the shell that I had to, figure out how to advance the auto scroller, and that was just fun. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey, let's see how it goes. And then I needed coins. I
Yeah.
didn't even know.
Yeah, in the end, it's all about fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had about 10 minutes left in our endless when I think we both knew that I had no chance, so we both kind of just played
Fun
more or
levels?
less-
Random
we just
levels,
we just
yeah.
played for fun for 10 minutes for you guys.
Yeah. That's what you'd be doing at home if you weren't here anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have skipped a lot less. That's for sure.
That's fair. Cool. All right. Well, I think it's time to present you with your third place trophy. Congratulations, 2woGood.
I made it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us for that interview. We're going to continue on with SpeedGaming Live 2019. Next up, we have a crowd control race of Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer featuring Big John and Macobra, and that is going to be awesome. So stick around for that. What?
Just Big John now.
Oh, just Big John. Okay, it's still going to be incredible. So you should still stick around and check that out, and we'll be right back.